Welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance News with me, your host, KinToshi. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on bell notifications. Again, right here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News every day at best on weekdays. Smash the subscribe button. Again, we're doing this live 8 a.m. Between the 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. EDT hours. If you're into NFT art, search KinsArt on OpenSea and Foundation for my artwork. Follow me on TikTok, KinToshiGG. Follow me on Instagram, KinToshiGG. And follow me on Twitch, KinToshiGG, for extra gaming content and content creation in general. I can see you in the chat there. If you want to jump in, put your chats and comments in there. It'll be displayed right here. And on the recaps on the YouTube side. Otherwise, let's go right on into the markets. I'm going to bring up the market watch here and get the US markets up. I have my mic up. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get this up. It's loading up. All right, we have the Dow down 0.3%. S&P 500 is down 0.8%. The Nasdaq is down 0.61%. The VIX is up 0.83%. Gold is down 0.59%. Oil is up 0.43%. In the Europe markets, we have the FTSE 100 down 0.89%. The DAX down 1.39%. The CAC 40 down 1.909%. FTSE MIB down 1.73%. The IBEX 35 down 2.15%. And the Stock 600 down 1.6%. 66%. Asia Dow is down 1.77%. The Nikkei 225 is down 0.43%. Hang Seng is down 0.42%. The Shanghai is up 0.13%. The Sensex is up 0.18%. Singapore is down 1.75%. In the Forex markets, we have the euro down 0.77%, the yen up 1.10%, the pound down 1.42%, the Australia dollar down 1%, the DXY index up 0.58%, the WSJ IDX is up 0.93%. In the rates market, we have the US 10-year up 0.0879, Germany 10-year up 0.122, Italy 10-year up 0.1618, Spain 10-year up 0.125, the UK 10-year up 0.228, and the Japan 10-year up 0.0024. In the futures market, we have the DGIF down 0.62%, the S&P F down 0.69%, the Nasdaq F down 1.09%, gold down 0.61%, silver down 2.13%, crude oil is up 0.39%. In the cryptocurrency markets, we have Bitcoin $18,758, down 1.39% today. Ethereum $1,258, down 1.85%. We have XRP down 0.18%. Bitcoin Cash down 2.5%. Litecoin USD down 2.4%, and Monero USD down 2.82%. So it's a red market in crypto today, most definitely. But leading into that, let's go right on into the news. We're going to start with some blockchain related pieces of news. Make sure the monitor is working. So make sure my audio is working also. All right. First piece of news we have here is from Axios writer Stephen Totlio for Axios, author of Axios Gaming. This is a Sims pioneer Will Wright is making a blockchain game, but is down on NFTs. Let's see what this is about. Hall of Fame game designer Will Wright's SimCity and The Sims is making a blockchain video game for the masses, not for NFT shoppers, he tells Axios. Why it matters. Wright is the biggest name in the controversial blockchain gaming sector, in which there's an abundance of investment and player skepticism. What they're saying, I'm much more interested in attracting 1 million free-to-play players than, 10,000 rich whales. Although we could use those rich whales, Wright tells Axios, using common industry terminology for people who spend an inordinate amount of money on a game or NFT that just might be tied to a details. Wright's project is called Voxverse. It's a virtual world set in a massive cube where players should be able to own land, create attractions, mine for resources, and socialize. Then the release is today. I'm actually going to save that link. All right, let's see. There's that link. So he envisions a game that will attract three groups of people: a small number of rich virtual landowners paying for plots with crypto, a middle group of creative players who will be tapped by the landowners to make stuff and share any sale proceeds from what they make, and a mass of free-to-play folks who hang out and play in the world. In a faint echo of The Sims, the game will incorporate systems of fame and trust, as well as basic character needs such as energy or hunger. The most right style touch maybe shape grammar, which he calls kind of an evolutionary system for item creation that lets users repeatedly click and transform a starter object, car, coffee, cup, water, car, coffee, cups, etc., to tweak it to make it their own, even patent it via the blockchain for revenue generating reuse. So between the lines, design for Voxverse is happening at Gallium Games, a blockchain-focused startup co-founded by Wright and Carmen Sandiego, co-creator Lauren Elliott, who first shipped a game with Wright in 1984. Hey, that's pretty cool. So actual production of the game is happening at Unity, and the project is being orchestrated by crypto gaming boosters Gala Games, which has spent over $25 million funding the effort. Gala wants Wright's game to help popularize its Vox characters, which are digital collectibles or NFTs. The most recent Vox offered by Gala, based on Troll's character from DreamWorks, went on sale this week for 888 ETH, about 0.88 ETH, 888 ETH, about $1,300, and will guarantee early dibs on land in the Voxverse. And my glasses on, put those back on after cleaning them. I couldn't see that was 0.888. I was going to say 888 ETH. Wow. But anyways, I don't really want to be in the business of selling NFTs, Wright said, emphasizing that his interest is in blockchain's ability to allow for secure transactions between players. So he's more focused on, the utility. In a call with Axios, Elliott amiably interjected that some aspects of the Voxverse project technically are NFTs, but noted Wright is very focused in game design. Wright likens blockchain to plumbing or some other underlying tech. I don't care how you do it, he said. I want to have secure transactions for content creators. He recalled the ingenuity for early Sims players whose custom creations he estimates around 30% of the franchise's value, but wasn't allowed to be significantly monetized. The creators who created the content participated in maybe 1 or 2% of the economic returns, he said. Hitching part of Voxverse's economic model to those NFT buying whales in a way, Wright says, to be distributing that value downwards to players who are incentivized to create experiences for millions of players. Those crypto whales don't even necessarily play games, he acknowledged, but can help. These people exist whether we like it or not. The big picture, crypto gaming is in search of a sustained hit, with reports of low players populations and collapse of former darling Axie Infinity, fanning criticism from traditional gamers that blockchain and NFTs are an unnecessary nuisance for games. But boosters say it's simply early days and the money keeps coming in. More than $1 billion, some 40% of all gaming deals, was invested in blockchain games in Q3, according to deal trackers Drake Star. The bottom line, Wright emphasizes that Voxverse can't just be about blockchain. It needs to be fun to play. No doubt. Most definitely, no doubt. Was there a sign up for Axios Gaming? Oh, that's a newsletter part. So yeah, check that out. Axios. Oh no, sorry, not Axios. Voxverse. Check out Voxverse. I certainly am myself. Do your own research. Only do what's safest for you. All right, this next article is from CNBC. The battle over billions in stolen Bitcoin recovered in DOJ seizures. So customers battle to regain billions in Bitcoin. The DOJ recovered in its largest seizure of stolen crypto. This is from writer Jesse Joseph for CNBC. The battle over billions of seized Bitcoin connected to a hack. When the Justice Department announced it seized billions in stolen cryptocurrency earlier this year, it seemed like great news for victims of a hack that drained around $70 million from customers' accounts on Bitfinex trading platform in 2016. It was the biggest relief of my life, says Frankie Cavazos, who lost 15 Bitcoins in the hack. Over the course of the last 6 years, the value of the stolen crypto skyrocketed. At the time of the hack, a single Bitcoin was worth less than $1,000. Today, it would be trading around $20,000. For Cavazos, getting his Bitcoin back would be a life-changing amount of money. So far, thousands of victims like him haven't experienced the happy ending that we're hoping for. Instead, they're embroiled in a battle over who is the legal owner of all that stolen crypto. On the day the news broke that the funds had been recovered, Bitfinex publicly asserted that the stolen Bitcoins should be returned to the platform. In a statement, Bitfinex will work with the DOJ and will follow appropriate legal processes to establish our rights to a return of the stolen Bitcoin. That's because the company's belief it's already made its customers whole by providing them with a variety of digital tokens that customers could sell in exchange for cash. After the hack, a company spokesperson told CNBC that Bitfinex customers could have the stolen tokens for cash and then use the cash to buy more Bitcoins at the time. The decision to offer customers tokens came after the company decided to generalize its losses across all accounts holders by 36%. That meant everyone who had a Bitfinex account lost 36% of their assets, not just users whose accounts were hacked. The first token of the company created was called a BFX token. Customers received one BFX token for each dollar they lost. Cavos told CNBC he felt like Bitfinex just dumped those tokens on the customers and said he was not going to give the option to decline that he was not given the option to decline the BFX token. He and several other Bitfinex hack victims spoke exclusively to CNBC with the documentary Crocodile of Wall Street, which reports on the theft of the Bitcoins and the alleged attempt to launder the stolen crypto. One issue customers brought up to CNBC was that when they decided to sell their tokens, they were actually worth pennies on the dollar. They pegged them to $1 per BFX token. Cavazos said they put them on the open market and went from like $1 to like 20 cents. So they're essentially allowed to basically FOMO everything out of their debt. Rafael Biliana, who had 91 Bitcoins on the platform, said, I sold those tokens as fast as possible immediately when they became available, and I was only able to get like 25% of their value. He believes there was no point in time that they refunded me in dollar terms, not in Bitcoin terms. For customers who didn't sell the tokens immediately, the company later gave BFX token holders a chance to convert their tokens to equity shares of iFinex, company entity behind Bitfinex, through their tokens the company created called RRT and Leo. To put it simply, Bitfinex feels the customers have already been compensated fairly, and if they chose to sell the tokens before their value reached $1, that was their choice to make. In a statement, the company told CNBC upon receipt of the Bitcoins recovered from 2016 security breach, Bitfinex has pledged to use 80% of the proceeds to buy back and burn Leo tokens after all RRTs are redeemed. Essentially, Bitfinex wants the Bitcoins that were stolen in 2016 back. All right, yeah, we heard that part. But first, I want to hear more about the hack part, but I didn't hear about that part. But anyways, the hack is a hack, right? But why would anybody question why should I get the money back? That was my property, Bielenia said. I'm still going to be trying to get a hold of those 15 Bitcoins because I truly believe they are mine, Cavazos said. I can prove it through the blockchain explorers. Will Hogarth also had his crypto stolen on Bitfinex hacks, told CNBC, I still expect my Bitcoin back and I don't see any reason why they would keep it. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco told CNBC victims, individuals, and entities who claimed that's their money, that they were victimized by this money laundering scheme, will submit claims ultimately to a court who will decide how the money is dispersed. However, no further details about that process have been released. For now, the holdup seems to be that there has been no resolution in the court case involving the couple. Investigators say got caught holding the stolen cryptocurrency. Heather Morgan and Ilya, have been charged with conspiring to launder billions in Bitcoin. Morgan is an aspiring rapper who called himself the Crocodile of Wall Street, and Lichtenstein, a self-described tech entrepreneur, explorer, and part-time magician. The duo is facing more than 2 decades in prison if they're found guilty. They have not yet entered a plea. CNBC reached out to Morgan and to hear the side of their story. Neither agreed to an interview. So far, no one has been charged with hacking Bitfinex in the first place. As their case makes its way through the court system, a multi-billion-dollar battle over what happens to the money is brewing. Ultimately, it's going to be a dogfight as to who gets this money, whether or not the government gets to keep it, whether or not Bitfinex gets to keep it, whether or not the customers get it back. Anyone who tells you there's a clear answer is lying for their own benefit, says cryptocurrency attorney David Silver. With billions of dollars on the line, Silver expects people are going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to get their hands on that pot of gold. I don't think it's going to be a fight. I do think it's going to be a fight, Cavazo said. At the end of the story, we don't know yet, he said, but you can just simply walk away. But you can't just simply walk away with a hack like this. There's someone that's going to be caught up in this and that has to tell the truth. And when that shoe drops, it's going to be really interesting and it's going to impact who gets the money. All right, so that's that from CNBC. Customers battle to regain billions in Bitcoin. The DOJ recovered in its largest seizure of stolen cryptocurrency. Let's go on to the next article piece and keep it rolling. So this next article is from Cointelegraph. Brian Quarmby. The Metaverse Casino served emergency cease and desist to halt NFT sales, explaining the cease and desist orders. The Texas State Securities Board, in particular, likened Slotty's NFTs to something that is similar to stock and other equities. A Metaverse Casino has been hit with simultaneously cease and desist orders from 4 state enforcement bodies across the United States who have deemed the firm's non-fungible token NFTs to be unregistered securities. Over 2 NFT collections offered by Metaverse Casino Slotty. The tokens are said to offer access to the Metaverse Casino, staking rewards, revenue split from its games, lotteries, and native token watts. I mean, yeah, if that's not some sort of yield-bearing dividend type asset class thing, then yeah, I don't know what is. Sounds like a security. However, the regulators don't appear pleased with how the platform has marketed NFTs and its alleged lack of securities registration. On October 20th, Texas, Kentucky, New Jersey, and Alabama state securities boards submitted orders for Slotty to cease and desist its operations, citing the platform's lack of state registration and offering of unregistered securities via NFTs. The actions accused Slotty of issuing 10,000 Slotty NFTs that are similar to stock and other equities. The Slotty NFTs purportedly provide investors with ownership interest in the casino and the right to passively share in the profit of the casinos. An October 20th statement by the Texas State Securities Board reads, the agencies also accuse the organization, which is believed to be based in the country of Georgia, of providing misleading promotional information and concealing key financial info, among other accusations. The cease and desist order of New Jersey Bureau of Securities argued that Slotty is offering securities that are not registered with the Bureau, federally covered nor exempt from registration. It also accuses the platform of failing to provide all the required disclosures of operating a gambling platform, while also providing misleading information and failing to register as a broker-dealer. In particular, the filing questions Slotty's claims that its initial collection of 10,000 NFTs sold out in under 5 minutes, and its second batch of 5,000 NFTs sold out in under 2 minutes, noting there is no evidence on the blockchain to back such claims. In connection with the offer, sale, or purchase of securities, Slotty is making materially false and misleading statements and or omitting to state material facts, the filing reads. As per an October 20th CNBC report, Texas State Securities Board Director Joe Rotunda warned of Metaverse-linked NFTs, noting that NFTs that purport to provide passive income often bear significant undisclosed risks, adding, in quote, these risks are often significant, and investing in virtual realities, can leave investors virtually broke. The pushback from U.S. state enforcement bodies adds a similar cease and desist order against 3 Web3 gambling projects, Flamingo Casino Club and San Vegas Casino Club, earlier this year. Flamingo Casino Club in particular was accused by 5 U.S. state agencies in May of being an operation run by Russian scammers that allegedly faked a partnership with a physical casino and lied about buying metaverse land from the hip-hop star Snoop Dogg. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has also been looking into whether certain NFTs could be deemed as securities. In March, anonymous sources told Bloomberg that the SEC was investigating NFT creators and marketplaces regarding whether certain non-fungible tokens are being utilized to raise money like traditional securities. So, Metaverse Casino served emergency cease and desist to halt their NFT sales, based on what they're doing with them. This next news is from Global Newswire. From, let's see, is the writer here, Frank Dubarry. Yeah, Yes, from source. Frank Dewberry launches Hipporium NFT and creates a fusion between digital world and the art of watchmaking. Geneva, Switzerland. Frank Dewberry, Franck, I'm not sure I want to pronounce it correctly. Apologize if I butchered that. Creates a new brand watch collection, Deep Ocean, and teams up with renowned graphic designers to create a collection of 5,000 unique Hipporium NFTs, non-fungible tokens, giving the right to redeem a watch with a random discount per family of NFT. The drop starts on November 25th. On the local website Hipporium.io, Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain will be available later on the marketplace OpenSea.io. Just as a disclosure, I'm not getting paid for any of this stuff, so definitely do your own research. Take time in the markets, and if one of these things or something was paying me to market, I would definitely disclose that transparently, most definitely. So anyways, a unique diving watch. So obviously this is some sort of product. You're going to get an NFT, you're going to get a discount to this watch. I feel like I'm kind of marketing a product, but let's go. I want to read the actually aspect of what's going on here. The fusion between digital world and the art of watchmaking. Developed in Switzerland, a free diver champion David Correa recorded at 123 meters in constant weight. The Deep Ocean is a modern and sustainable atomic diving watch. The Deep Ocean is modern, sustainable automatic diving watch, exclusively sold to the owners of Hipporium NFT. Made in stainless steel to professional diving standards, the Deep Ocean comes with various components made for recycled plastics found in the oceans, fitted with straps made of bio rubber and nylon from recycled fishing nets. That's pretty cool. Do something with that stuff, right? The 42 millimeter stainless steel case plays with different finishing to highlights a very sharp clean. All right, this is cool and everything. I'm not gonna read about the design. I like that back. That's pretty cool. They got that looks like a titanium back or something. Anyways, a unique system, patent pending, attaches a strap to the case. All right, they're still just talking about the watch. They got a Hipporium character engraved. Its owners reminds its owners that exclusive access to several benefits, both in the metaverse and in real life, such as invitations to live events, discounts on watch collections, probably and more. There's token gated NFT. Part of the so this is a disruptive ownership experience. This is what I want to touch upon. Part of the Hipporium project, the sale of the collection exclusively to owners of a Hipporium NFT that can be purchased on the website. November 25th, created by Frank Dewberry and his team of renowned graphic designers, playing with the aesthetic codes of the crypto world. The Hipporium NFT is a collection of 5,000 unique digital artworks whose authenticity, unicity, and ownership is guaranteed using the Ethereum blockchain technology. So here's some of the Hipporium NFTs there. It looks like inspired by tribal works in sci-fi universes depicted in pop culture. The Hipporium collection portrays a hippo space traveling from the metaverse to another, and offers a unique ownership experience coming with exclusive benefits both in metaverse and in real life. 10 unique traits define the 10 Hipporium families, each coming a different level of rarity and giving the right to redeem a Deep Ocean watch with a discount of up to 80% off attributed randomly per family of NFTs. So you can discover the 10 families. There's Mori Tattoo, unique trait, tattooed face is a family of 20 NFTs only, giving the holder a discount of 80% to redeem his watch, their watch, whatever. It is the most exclusive family of the Hipporium collection and represents various advantages, including the most incredible real-life experiences. Then you got the Predator Hunter. Predator Helmet is a family of 50 NFTs, only giving the holder a discount of 70% to redeem his watch, including real-life experiences specifically adventure-oriented. The Yamashita Gold is a family of 110 NFTs, only giving the holder a discount of 65 to redeem his watch. An exclusive family of Hipporium collection and presents various advantages, including real-life experiences specifically culture-oriented. In the Desert Planet, with the Desert Helmet, a family of 260 NFTs, gives you a 60% discount on the watch. And in real-life experiences, martial nature-oriented. Kamakura. This is interesting. I've not really heard what they're doing. So it's very interesting about this martial arts-oriented, martial nature-oriented, culture-oriented, adventure-oriented, and real-life experiences. So this is pretty cool. So the Kamakura, the samurai helmet, is a family of 350 NFTs, giving the holder a 55 discount to redeem the watch. And in real-life experiences specifically is martial arts-oriented. And the psychedelic pink apple color is a family of 450 NFTs, giving the holder a 50% discount on the watch. And gives you real life experiences, specifically party events oriented. That's the psychedelic one. Okay, what does that entail, right? Braves. I'm just kidding. Maybe they should improve upon that party events oriented and maybe do some more assisted therapy research oriented is what I see. But that's just my opinion. Do your own research, right? The Space Traveler is a family of 770 NFTs, giving the holder a discount of 40% on the watch, off the watch. I mean, specifically geared towards real life experiences with space technology oriented. And Intergalactic with the Cushion Armor, family of 995 NFTs, 30% off the watch, and specifically gives you including real life experiences and specifically to the Metaverse, Metaverse International events oriented. On the flag Earth, the country of the flag is a family of 1,000, gives the discount of 20% off the watch, and is geared towards specifically travel-oriented real-life experiences. And Metafusion, unique NFTs not included in the previous families, is a collection of 1,000 NFTs, giving a discount of 10% off the watch, and specifically gives a random mix of the other 9 families' real-life experiences. Well, that's kind of cool. Random mix, right? So about the Frank Dubarry. Frank Dubarry is a famous watch designer who resides in Switzerland and in Argentina. He is also the founder of various brands, including Techno Marine, Frank Dubarry Watches, and Frank Dubarry Watches. As an expert in watch manufacturing, Frank Dubarry has delivered over 1,000 impressive designs that have had a tangible impact on the watch market. His previous company sold 2.5 million watches and created a revolution with numerous innovations that affected the entire industry. That's cool. It goes some technical specifications about the watch here: the dial, the strap and bracelet options, and the movement, water resistancy, and aspects of such. So I just thought that was kind of interesting, NFTs that are coming with watches, and also just in general, cool watch creator. And basically, my point here is that central entities, Web 2 people, or people just crafts people, and artists who have nothing to do with blockchain NFTs are finding their way into this industry, and that's a big reason why I read and read those type of articles, because it gives you the insight of there are people learning and adopting and integrating and expanding the utility and the use case and experience of NFTs, blockchain technology, and cryptocurrency like that for the technology. This next piece of news is put your hands up. Interpol storms into the metaverse. It's from writer Brian Quarmby for Cointelegraph. Interpol's metaverse is up and running and has been designed to streamline communication between various units, along with providing an avenue to conduct education and training. The National Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, is putting on its virtual reality headsets as it prepares to crack down on an expanding list of possible crimes in the metaverse. According to an October 20th announcement, Interpol has launched the first ever metaverse specifically designed for law enforcement worldwide, introducing it at the 90th Interpol General Assembly in New Delhi, already fully operational. Interpol outlined that a key driver behind its jump into the metaverse is due to bad actors already leveraging the tech to conduct crimes, while public adoption rates are likely to significantly increase over the next few years. Criminals are already starting to exploit the metaverse. The World Economic Forum has warned that social engineering scams, violent extremism, and misinformation could be particular challenges. The announcement reads, adding that, end quote, as numbers of the metaverse users grow and the technology further develops, the list of possible crimes will only expand to potentially include crimes against children, data theft, money laundering, financial fraud, counterfeiting, ransomware, phishing, and sexual assault and harassment. Notably, people have already been put behind bars for their actions in the metaverse. Last month, a South Korean man was sentenced to 4 years in prison for sexually harassing children in the metaverse and luring them to send lewd photos and videos. Wow, that's really messed up. That's why my children don't use the metaverse, because I just don't think it's a place that's mature enough or even advanced enough. They don't. I don't even let my children play Roblox for that matter, because Roblox is. I feel I get people can create games and put good content on there, but at the same time, there's just people who put really bad stuff on there that doesn't need to be on there, and I'm not going to let my children be exposed to that. Notably, people have already been put behind bars for their actions. Oh yeah, I already read that. At the event in Delhi, Interpol also revealed plans to develop a division dedicated to cracking down on crypto crime. Interpol Secretary General Jürgen Stock highlighted Jürgen highlighted the need for the specific unit, as many law enforcement agencies are not currently equipped to deal with the complexities of the sector. The Special Director of India's Central Bureau of Investigations, Praveen Sinha, also noted that it has become increasingly difficult to monitor cybercrime due to its global nature, and that coordination is a key factor that will make their efforts easier. The only answer is international cooperation, coordination, trust, and real-time sharing of information. The new Interpol Metaverse will allow registered users to visit the platform and take a tour through a virtual facsimile of the Interpol General Secretariat headquarters in Lyon, France, and partake in forensic investigation courses, among other things. Let's see. Interpol has outlined that its metaverse will hopefully provide a more streamlined, efficient way for its various outfits across the globe to communicate and work with each other, while education and training for students. New recruits also has highlighted earlier this week that Ajman Police announced it would provide its services to customers throughout metaverse technology, according to an October 16th tweet from the authority. So that's really cool. That's definitely probably needed also, and it'll be an advancement into the industry. So put your hands up, bad boys. What you gonna do? Interpol storms into the metaverse. Let's go into the next article. This next one is from Computer World. Lenovo Tech World 2022 aiming for a metaverse upgrade. So Lenovo Tech World, when it comes to virtual reality, most people think about Meta's efforts, but Lenovo's take on it offers offers more of the reality part of the equation, just what's needed for success. Wow, they really piled the ads on their site, didn't they? All right, Lenovo's Big Tech World 2022 took place this week, and one of the most interesting segments tied into what Microsoft's called holoportation. Not surprisingly, it uses HoloLens. It also addressed one of the biggest problems with Meta's metaverse implementation: realism. Most people who have seen Meta's take on the future of mixed reality meetings have found it wanting. I don't know. People aren't really ready to participate in a new service that makes Linden Labs' Second Life look good. If Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg wanted to recreate Second Life, he could have bought it. Yeah, okay. They have a point there. He could have bought it for a fraction of what his development efforts have cost so far. But I mean, he's got his own thing they got to build. So specifically what Lenovo showed off was an implementation that, instead of relying on cartoonish avatars, uses a set of 3D scanners to accurately create an interactive, highly photorealistic avatar that can be used for virtual conferences and meetings. This, I think, is a game changer for the concept of metaverse conferencing. It represents a far more workable future than what we've seen to date, and could solve some of the problems inherent in virtual worlds. So feeling present, whether we're talking about the early days of video conferencing or current efforts using the metaverse, one underlying problem for remote workers is that they don't feel present. You have people who are on a job site who clearly interact with each other as people because they are present and are people, while those that are remote appear as 2D pictures or 3D avatars that not only look like poorly drawn cartoons, but lack legs. This lack of reality makes it hard for remote workers to feel equal to those who are physically present in a meeting, and highlights other problems. It's hard to have side conversations if you're not in the room, or go and grab coffee or a meal after a meeting has ended, or make any deeper and more engaging individual connections. I mean, if you're at a business meeting, I don't think it's about deeper meeting connections. It's about your work at hand. While a more realistic avatar won't fix the inability to engage outside of the meeting, it does provide a better reason to develop adjunct tools that could virtually allow these missed opportunities to emerge. You may not want to have a long heart-to-heart conversation with a cartoonish avatar, but you already likely do have more involved conversation over Zoom or Microsoft Teams, or even using your phone without any video today. So blended realism for the win. One of the biggest problems for remote workers is that people on premises See them in unflattering conditions. Maybe they're in casual attire, while those in office are in suits and dresses, or they're surrounded by poorly rendered backgrounds in rooms cluttered with artifacts of home life. Using a rendered avatar rather than a real image allows that avatar to look at its best, perfect hair, makeup, and clothing. And it can be better. It can better blend into an artificial background that looks more realistic. You don't have the issues that come with using a green screen, that odd white line around your body, and a clearly static image behind you that everyone knows isn't your real home. Blended realism could present remote employees in a better light than those who are on premises, because reality is nowhere near as easily modified. This alone could prompt employees to favor remote meetings, cutting down on travel time and commuting waste, while both improving productivity and the use of virtual reality conferencing tools. Lenovo's creation of a real-time scanned avatar that can present as real and can always look its best regardless of lack of sleep, bad clothing, or messy background shows where Meta has so far fallen short. Granted, the solution does not require a lot of processing power, a few 3D sensors, in a space that would allow a user to be rescanned when needed. But all of those issues are relatively easy to solve, suggesting that holoportation is about to get a significant VR upgrade as we move to the next level in metaverse conferencing. Hey, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Meta's got to step it up, get those legs going. Lenovo Tech World 2022 aiming for metaverse upgrade. Let's go. That's from writer Rob Enderl, contributor for Computer World. This next article is from Yahoo Finance. Got a few articles left here before closing out the stream for the day. All right, the King Dollar is making a royal feast of corporate earnings in the morning brief from Yahoo Finance. This is from writer Julie Hyman, anchor at large for Yahoo Finance. So the King Dollar is making a royal feast of corporate earnings in the morning brief. This article first appeared in the morning brief. Get the morning brief sent to your article inbox if you want. I don't know. I just started reading randomly. If you want, you can subscribe to Yahoo Finance Days, basically. Also, I have all these links on the recap on the YouTube side right after this live stream concludes. I'll update that most definitely. My word find function has been going into overdrive this earnings season, looking for a few key phrases in earnings call transcripts, foreign exchange, currencies, dollar. Netflix Chief Financial Officer Spencer Newman summed up succinctly in his company's conference call, the FX drag is significant. The rise of the US dollar, spurred by the Federal Reserve's interest rate increases, among other factors, is triggering quite the knock-on effort to corporate benefits. While investors might want to strip out currency impacts to get a better idea of fundamental demand, they should also prepare for these hints to last a while. In a report this week titled King Dollar Has More Room to Gain, Wells Fargo strategist Eric Nelson cited multiple drivers for continued dollar strength, including the currency's traditional resilience at time of market stress. The dollar index can continue to rally here. Chris Vecchio, senior strategist at Daily FX, told Yahoo Finance Live earlier this week. To use an old axiom, the dollar remains the nicest house in a bad neighborhood. That is, while the U.S. economy may be slowing and even entering a recession, many other global economies are faring worse. In currencies, it's all relative. The dollar strength is costing companies. Citi strategists estimate that a 10% bump in the dollar index will cut $15 to $20 from the S&P 500 earnings per share. The dollar index has rallied more than 17% this year versus a bracket of currencies. The greenback is up 14% versus the euro, a whopping 30% against the Japanese yen. This early earnings season is littered with examples of the ensuing costs. IBM numbers beat estimates, even as the company said currency translation cost it $1.1 billion last quarter. Netflix's operation margin dropped to 19.3% from 23.5% last quarter, a decline it blamed almost entirely on the dollar's gain. And Procter & Gamble will take a $3.9 billion after-tax hit from currency effects this year. Large companies do have the ability to hedge or offset the gains in the dollar in various ways, including covering expenses in local currencies, but the dollar's move has been so big and so rapid this year that even the most seasoned hedgers have difficulty adjusting. It's also tough for corporations to predict the dollar's move 6 months to a year to even 18 months ahead, as they would need for hedging. Jefferies managing director and head of corporate hedging and FX solutions, Joseph Lewis, and Yahoo Finance Live told Yahoo Finance Live recently. The hardest part of the companies right now to determine will this persist. You can take 10 economists. They'll say slightly different things, have slightly different forecasts. I think that's been really challenging for my clients. There isn't a consistency in view. So what are investors to do when it comes to factoring in the effects of the dollar? The bottom line for Citi, Scott Kronert, USD relevant for equities, but not the main but not the main driver. He wrote in a recent note. Rather, he said investors should focus on underlying business trends and conditions. Companies have another option, as Yahoo Finance's Jared Blickray pointed out in Wednesday's morning brief. They can invest in small cap companies, which generally have less exposure to currency fluctuations than large cap companies. All right. So that's the article there. In Yahoo Finance, the King Dollar is making a royal feast of corporate earnings in the morning brief. All right, let's see what else we got here. This next article. Bring this next article up. I have a few more articles here. Like I said, this is from Reuters. So we did some blockchain news, some cryptocurrency news, NFT news, Metaverse news, and we're transitioning here into finance, some tech news and stuff like that. So an intervention threat grows. Japan deals strictly with FX speculators, from writer Tetsushi Kajimoto and Leika Kihara. This is in the finance sector. So we're basically doing some finance news here, right? So the key points here is Finman says cannot tolerate excessive speculative yen weakening. The yen falls beyond 150 to the dollar, the 32-year low. Market players brace for second round of intervention. Jay Kuroda repeats easy policy mantra and warns of risks. Tokyo, Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki said on Friday that authorities were dealing with currency speculators strictly as an extended sell-off of the yen kept markets on heightened alert for further dollar selling intervention by Tokyo. Speculation that Japan will follow up on the September move to step into the market again has grown over the past week as its currency has slipped further to 32-year lows beyond 150 yen. We're confronting speculators strictly, Suzuki told a regular news conference when asked whether the Japanese yen was under attack by speculators. We cannot tolerate excessive moves by speculators. We will respond appropriately while watching currency market movements with a high sense of urgency. I mean, for me, it makes me want to go collect the yen. Just saying. And hold it. Suzuki's comments come after, but the other side of me is also like, well, I mean, if this thing keeps like tanking, that's not something I want to hold. Suzuki's comments come after the yen weakened beyond the key psychological level of 150 per dollar on Thursday for the first time since August 1990. The yen stood around 150.3 to 40 per dollar during trade in Asia on Friday. So yeah, basically you can get 150.3 or 0.4 yen per dollar. What was it before? Like 100 yen per dollar? Latest updates. The Dutch bank, I don't want to actually, no, I'm not going to read any of that part. Investors are seeking clues as to whether authorities are already conducting so-called stealth intervention, but believe any such action would have limited impact. I won't rule out further intervention. If they intervene, they might do it at larger scale, but it won't be effective as they are running against the tide of a strong dollar, says Masafumi Yamamoto, chief FX strategist at Mizuho Securities. The dollar surged around 30% against the yen this year, despite Japan spending up to a record $2.8 trillion, 2.8 trillion yen, or $19.7 billion, equivalent to half of its annual defense spending, intervening in the foreign exchange market in September to support its currency for the first time since 1998. And that was just recently. So the BOJ to stay bullish. Analysts expect the yen's downtrend to continue unless the Bank of Japan shifts away from its ultra-loose monetary policy, something its governor Haruhiko Kuroda has repeatedly ruled out. Uncertainty over Japan's economic outlook is extremely high, Kuroda said in a speech on Friday, stressing that the bank's resolve to keep rates low. Was closely watch the impact in financial and currency market moves could have on Japan's economy and price, he said. When asked about monetary policy, Finance Minister Suzuki said that it was only a matter for the BOJ to decide. Let's see, what else? I want some key points here. The government's third part is set to compile an economic package of measures by the end of this month to ease the pain of surging costs of energy and food, which could add strain to Japan's already dire public finances. Suzuki underscored the importance of maintaining trust in Japan's finances after Britain was plunged into financial crisis in the wake of a violent market reaction to plans for huge unfunded tax cuts, forcing its premier Liz Truss to resign just 6 weeks after just 6 weeks in office. Any increase in debt issuance to fund the package could unsettle Japan's already jittery government bond market. The BOJ conducted emergency bond buying operations for a second straight day on Friday, as the 20-year government bond yield rose to a new high and a further challenge to the central bank's resolve to defend its ultra-easy policy. Data released on Friday showed Japan's core consumer inflation rate accelerated to a fresh 8-year high of 3%, 3%, exceeding the BOJ's target for a sixth straight month and a sign of broadening price pressures. The BOJ is likely to slightly rise up its price forecast in a fresh quarterly projections due at its policy meeting on October 27th to 28th, but maintain ultra low rates and its dovish policy guidance sources familiar with the matter told Reuters. All right. A little kind of ongoing there, but basically the main point is an intervention threat grows. Japan deals strictly with FX speculators, right? People who are fighting against the yen on the forex markets is what they're dealing with. I mean, if you're bullish on it, you'd be buying the yen, right? So that's not what's happening. Or people are speculating. Who knows? A lot of different directions. Let's keep going here in the politics sector. So the U.S. eyes expanding China tech ban to quantum computing and AI. So this is in the basically the regulatory tech market sector. Is going to this is writer Anna Egglereton. Oh, it's not going to let me read this article, man. Let's just skip Bloomberg then. I'm just gonna cut this article out. Let's go. Some articles. I'm just gonna stay away from the what was it? The New York Times. I think it was the New York Times and the Bloomberg. I'm not wasting my time bringing up articles. They got locked in. All right, so I guess I guess that's basically it's we have two pieces of news here. This is general news and culture. Actually, wait, do we have this one? What's the BBC? Let me bring up the BBC here first. I thought we had another business piece before global news. Yeah, let's go into the tech part here, and then we'll go into the global news. TikTok denies, and before I close out the stream, TikTok denies it could be used to track citizens. This is basically kind of tech related to the tech aspect of TikTok on its ongoing report here. So I will be noting of this article. This is from Annabelle Liang, writer for BBC. TikTok has denied a report that a China-based team at its parent company ByteDance, whatever it is, planned to use the app to track the locations of U.S. citizens. The social media giant said on Twitter that it has never been used to target the American government, activists, public figures, or journalists. The firm also says it does not collect precise location data from U.S. users. It was reporting to a report in Forbes that data would have been accessed without users' knowledge or consent. The U.S. Business Magazine, which cited documents it had seen, reported that ByteDance had started a monitoring project to investigate misconduct by current and former employees. They said the project, which was run by a Beijing-based team, had planned to collect location data from a U.S. citizen on at least 2 occasions. The report said it was unclear whether American citizens' data was ever collected, but there had been a plan to obtain location data from a U.S. user's device. Let's see. TikTok to ban. So here's a couple of related articles, which I agree with that. TikTok to ban children from live streaming. Why people are posting their salaries on TikTok. So there's 2 articles there. If you want to continue reading. Again, I have all these articles on the YouTube recaps. In a series of tweets, TikTok's communications team said the report lacked both rigor and journalistic integrity. It added that Forbes chose not to include the portion of our statement that disapproved the feasibility of its core allegation. TikTok does not collect precise GPS location information from U.S. users, meaning TikTok could not monitor U.S. user in the way the article suggested. In response to a BBC request for comment, a Forbes spokesperson said, "We are confident in our sourcing and we stand by our reporting. As the privacy concerns, the developers of apps have come under scrutiny from authorities around the world, especially over data and military intelligence personnel. In 2020, a U.S. National Security Panel ordered ByteDance to sell TikTok's American business over concerns that users' data could be passed to the Chinese government. TikTok said it migrated U.S. users' information to servers at Austin headquartered Oracle this June to address some regulatory issue. Meanwhile, TikTok is facing a $30 million fine in the UK for failing to protect the privacy of children using the platform. Last month, the UK's Information Commissioner Office found that the video sharing platform may have processed the data of under 13s without appropriate consent. The watchdog said the breach took place over more than 2 years until July 2020, but that had not yet drawn final conclusions. TikTok has disputed the findings, said they were provisional. TikTok is the world's fastest growing social media app and has been downloaded more than 3.9 billion times and has made more than $6.2 billion or 5.5 billion euro in gross revenue from in-app spending since its launch in 2017, according to analytics company Sensor Tower. All right, so that's this. TikTok denies it could be used to track citizens in the tech sector and also for social media regulation debate. Let's go on to this last piece of general news I found interesting, noteworthy among global news going on. A lot of it is just we're listening to Russia and Ukraine, also the drones. So that's an ongoing thing, but I didn't really see much updates on that. So I'm going to go into this NPR news and the politics. What is the so-called "Don't Say Gay" bill that could impact the whole country? This is from writer Laurel Wamsley. House Republicans have introduced legislation that some critics are describing as National Don't Say Gay bill, inspired by the controversial Florida law that bans instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation in kindergarten through third grade classes. I'm going to read that again. Inspired by the controversial Florida law that bans instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation in kindergarten through third grade classes. All right. And I'm just going to keep reading at this point. If the federal bill were to become law, which is unlikely in the current Congress, its effects could be far more sweeping, affecting not just instruction in schools, but also events in literature at any federally funded institution. Here's what's in the bill and what people are saying about it. The bill's language is broad and consequential. The measure was introduced on Tuesday by Representative Mike Johnson for Representative and co-sponsored by 32 other Republicans. What is that? Is that Louisiana? Or are they just saying Los Angeles? Whatever. Republican representative and co-sponsored by 32 other Republicans. The Democrat Party and their cultural allies are on a misguided crusade to immerse young children in sexual imagery and radical gender ideology, Johnson said in a statement calling the bill common sense. This has been a debate, most definitely, that it's too young and it's creating sexualization for children too young in schools. The bill, called the Stop Sexualization of Children Act, aims to prohibit the use of federal funds to develop, implement, facilitate, or fund any sexually oriented program, even for literature for children under the age of 10 and for other purposes. I agree. Unless it's things like safe, staying safe, and like, the old books that we would read, our parents would read us on, not talking to strangers and safe touching, right? All those books. But this stuff is that I've been hearing here, and again, I'm not trying to put my opinions in here, but my take on it is just it's like for the age bracket of kindergarten and stuff, that maturity rate hasn't been met to I don't even know like exactly what. I guess it's a part of sexual orientation and gender identity. Um, the language in the proposed legislation lumps together topics of sexual orientation, gender identity, with sexual content such as pornography and stripping. That's what I've been hearing as well. And so the whole thing is like really weird to me. And because to me it's got like red flags around it. I just think just leave it out of there. Just what like their children draw their stick figures, draw their artwork, learn their numbers, learn their ABCs in kindergarten. They don't need to know like, are you like, I don't know. I just I don't think this was an issue we were ever talking about in the 90s. I don't know why it needs to be now. I don't know why this. Again, I'm going to try and keep my opinion out of this, right? But as a parent myself, I just feel that, anything past reading certain books for, again, things like safe practices and staying away from strangers, all of that normal stuff that we do as parents to keep our children safe and keep them learning, for keeping themselves safe, is fine. But this stuff is it's just weird what the government's imposing here in these bills and stuff. It would prohibit federal funds from being used. Yeah, so it would prohibit federal funds from being used to support any sexually oriented programs, events, and literature, ban federal facilities from hosting or promoting such events or literature, and allowing parents and guardians to sue government officials, agencies, and private entities if a child under 10 is exposed to such materials. The bill complains that some school districts have implemented sex ed programming for kids under 10, in that any new implemented sexual education. I mean, you can't, like, come on. You're gonna like tell a kid under 10 like how to use a condom? Like, let's get real with ourselves here. That's stupid. That's not what we should be teaching our children in school. Teaching our children, like, just educate. All right. Again, I'm trying to keep my opinions out of this part as a parent. The bill complains that some school districts have implemented sex ed programming for kids under 10. And that any newly implemented sexual education curriculums encouraging discussion of sexuality, sexual orientation, transgenderism, and gender ideology as early as kindergarten. It also calls out events such as drag queen story hours in libraries, which it describes as sexually orientated. Again, just weird. It's just weird. Why do you want to put weird stuff in our children's education during school hours? The bill follows GOP-driven parental rights measures in Florida and elsewhere, right? The proposed federal measures is framed in terms of parents' rights as a rallying cry on the right that in the last couple of years has included battles against schools, COVID-19 vaccine requirements, and fervent activism against critical race theory in classrooms. In March, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed into law the Parental Rights in Education Bill, which bans public school personnel from conducting classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through grade 3. And rightly so. I think the cognitive mind of a kindergartner through grade 3 is not thinking about the children are. As a parent, our children are not thinking about this stuff from kindergarten to age 3. And if your children it's probably maybe because they're susceptible to it in a fucking school. Sorry, I don't mean to swear, but come on. Yeah, so it bans public school personnel from conducting classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Critics of the measure, dubbed the Florida Law Don't Say Gay, and argue that its intent is to marginalize LGBTQ people and their families. A cascade of other states quickly introduced similar legislation, and Alabama passed its own version of the bill into law. Among the proposed legislation definition of the sexually oriented material that it would limit, it includes description and depiction of sexual acts in lewd or lascivious depiction or description of human genitals. So again, I haven't seen any of the content, so I can't make a further judgment on it. But from these parts, lewd or lascivious, I don't even heard this word before. But anyways, lewd, right? Description, depiction or description of human genitalia. but also prohibits a full range of topics related to LGBTQ community, gender identity, gender dysphoria, transgenderism, sexual orientation that are largely about gender. About the identity. The bill's prospects are nil, while Democrats control the White House and Senate. From my understanding, this has come about from the Democrats. The bill would not pass in current Congress, given that such legislation is solely a Republican effort, and Democrats have functional majority in each chamber. Sorry, it's brought up from Republican efforts, but the Democrats have a majority of House. Sorry, Democrats control the House. What am I talking about? Anyways, depending on the November election results, the makeup of the House and Senate could shift. Still, it's not clear how many Republicans would support the bill, even if it is popular among a certain strain on the part of the party. It seems like definitely the Republicans are trying to step into the primary House control. Even if the proposed legislation were to pass in a Republican-controlled House and Senate, it would be vetoed by President Biden. So don't expect this bill to go anywhere for at least a while. LGBTQ groups condemn the bill and warn against its potential effects. I thought the House had the man, I can't think of it right now. I thought they had like the larger voter turnout ability in the House and Senate currently. I'll check on that. LGBTQ groups condemn the bill and warn against its potential effects. The Human Rights Campaign, which advocates for the rights of LGBTQ people, decried the proposed legislation. Extremist House Republicans like Mike Johnson are continuing their assault on LGBTQ plus Americans' ability to live their lives openly and honestly. A federal Don't Say Gay or Trans bill is their latest cruel attempt to stigmatize and marginalize the community, not an attempt to solve actual problems, but only to rile up their extremist-based Human Rights Campaign Government Affairs Director David Stacey said in a statement. So again, for me, I'm trying not to put my opinions here, but I can understand what the LGBTQ American community is saying about the aspect of living their lives openly, honestly. But again, trying to tie it into again, I haven't seen this is the other thing. I haven't seen the content. So I guess I just need to do my own research more. That I haven't seen the content of what it is exactly that's being exposed to children on an educational level about LGBTQ, transgenderism, and sexuality between the kindergarten to grade 3 level. So I don't know what that content looks like. So I guess I can't really say anything further, but for me, I think if there's lewd stuff in it, that needs to be adjusted to allow for, that you can still have LGBTQ plus, content and in a respectful way that's exposing children to in a kindergarten to grade 3 level that would be respectful or respectable to the aspect that they are learning to be accepting and hold themselves as equals among each other, no matter what their gender is. And I guess you could just leave it at that, because the word is there, but the mental cognition of a kindergarten to 3-year-old, I'm not sure just it's the right time to introduce anything further than that. But anyways, I haven't seen the content, so I can't say one way or the other, or have to leave my opinions out of it basically a bit as best I can. So activist Aaron Reed, who tracks anti-transgender legislation, argues that the comparison to a Don't Say Gay bill minimizes the potential effects of this proposed legislation. Don't Say Gay/trans was focused on classroom instruction, which was bad enough, she wrote on Twitter. This goes way beyond the classroom and way beyond instruction. It's a very complex topic, and there's a lot going on. We'll keep following this most definitely, but that's all I have today. So this was the last piece of news, and I always close out the news with a piece of general global news. And this is what was in there today on trending. So what's in the so-called "Don't Say Gay" bill that could impact the whole country? Leave it at that. Let's see. I will be back. I don't do the streams on the weekends, so tomorrow is Saturday, and then the next day is Sunday. Have a great Sunday fun day and a great safe weekend. I will be back on Monday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. EDT time for weekend recap news. So we'll talk about the weekend news that was going on, as well as we'll go into new trending news for the new week, and so on and so forth. Otherwise, have a great and safe day. God bless your kind hearts, spiritual practice, whatever, what have you. Stay safe. Either way, onamashigas, peace be with you. Cheers. Ciao. Take care. Have a great and safe weekend. Also, if you're on the YouTube side, subscribe, turn on bell notifications right here to Blockchain, Tech, and Finance News.